I'm going to call a meeting, June meeting of the New York State Cemetery Board to order. Mark Patterson, I represent Walter Mosley as chairman of the board.
Thomas Fuller, representing Dr. James McDonald for the Department of Health.
And I'm Jill Faber, representing Attorney General Letitia James.
Great, so everybody on the board is present. This meeting is a short 2 weeks after the last one, just from the rescheduling vagaries. So it's going to be also a short agenda, but we do want to welcome back Rob Vandervlies, who's parlayed this to a bigger position. Now he's back with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to have you. First order of business is to review the minutes of the previous meeting. Does anybody have any comments, suggestions, or changes to the minutes distributed?
Not here.
Okay, breaking precedent with history, as we were discussing earlier. All right, so I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the previous meeting as distributed.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Minutes are approved. Legislation and regulations, council, and report?
I circulated a legislative report, if the board has any questions on it. Hearing none, the division and I continue to review comments received during our informal public comment period on the recent rulemaking package.
Okay, any questions from the board members on legislative or regulations?
Not here.
Nope.
Yes, no, okay. Division report, Louis, do you have exciting news to share?
I do actually. We hired another senior accountant here in Albany. He starts July 3rd. We also are close to hiring 2 senior accountants in New York City. I just sent up a recommendation to hire about 15 minutes ago. And hopefully those people will all, well, the guy at Albany already accepted, hopefully the other 2 will accept as well. And that's our staffing update. We have 2 101s coming up on June 21st.
No.
Just one?
Yes.
Okay. And that's where, remind me.
I think it's in Hawthorne. I can double check that.
No,
In Finger Lakes.
it's in the Finger Lakes. That's good enough for now. It's on our website. It's in the Finger Lakes. We're looking to schedule one in Ulster County this summer. And then we have 1 or 2 on the schedule for September. Obviously, we're getting a little less traction with these now because a lot of people have been. We do have some advanced or additional course materials that we're going to be rolling out on the website soon, and then hopefully maybe being able to pilot those live. I think that was all I had on that. Annual report submissions. Alicia is not on. Let me see if I have statistics for you. I don't think I do. Okay. Annual reports at this point are kind of trickling in because most of them were due the end of March, and most of them arrive within 60 days of the deadline. Either by extension or just being late. The ones that are trickling in now are either longer extensions or cemeteries that are on a fiscal year that's not a calendar year.
Does anybody on the board have any questions of Louis on his division report?
No.
All right, we're moving on to the other business. We don't have a vandalism report, or we do? Go ahead.
The vandalism report, so we've collected 476,000 this year. An assessment that is 261,000. We've granted this year 340 grand and change in restoration applications. It looks like there's a typo in the report, although it's a big $70. One place we show $340,717.80. Another we show $340,787.85. I don't know which of those is correct. Obviously, it's not really material to anything. The applications that are still in the pipeline are about 932,000. Obviously, we're gonna get more as the year goes on. Obviously, also, we've committed some funds, 722, about another 900,000 for applications from previous years or this year. But actually, it's more, it's over $1 million. That said, which exceeds our appropriation. That said, we don't pay these all at once. We're paying an initial payment of 25%, and a second payment is 75% for the last few years. With submissions at this level, we've been able to manage the cash flow so that we have never ended up in the position of not being able to pay just because we don't have cash.
We can spend almost exactly the amount of the appropriation
Yes,
last
and
year, and I got kudos from Luann.
last 2 years, we've spent within a rounding error of the money that's in the appropriation.
Okay, any comments on the vandalism? All right, we have
And you got
two
two for
applications for dangerous monuments. The first is Forest Lawn, Forest Hill, in Erie County, in the amount of $36,925.84. So I'm going to present that to the board.
Yes, good
Mike, you
afternoon.
doing
It's,
Corey, you're
Corey
good.
Moore. Yes. Good afternoon. So the Forest Lawn Group placed an application for their Forest Hill Cemetery, which is a small rural cemetery located in the town of Attica in Wyoming County. They submitted an application for the repair of 23 hazardous monuments. Investigator Cindy Craig visited the cemetery and confirmed that all monuments appeared to pose a hazard. Their most recent monument for the application was dated in 1944, and the cemetery stated that they did not have any lot owner records for this era. They ran a legal notice once a week for 3 weeks in the Herald Courier and received no response. It is our understanding that the cemetery has determined that the lot owners cannot be located. The cemetery provided repair estimates from 3 separate contractors, with Western New York Cemetery Services being the lowest bid at $36,831 for a $1,601 average for the monument. And they intend to reset the 23 monuments on concrete foundations. Western New York Cemetery Services also will provide a 20-year warranty. The cemetery is up to date on its vandalism repayments and annual reports, and I recommend approval in the amount of $36,925.84.
So I have 3 things to add to this. Number one, I guess 4 things. Number one, which is you're gonna have to take this across the board. All of these hazardous monument applications are type 2 applications for purposes of seeker. Number 2, Western New York is a related party in that its principal's father works for Forest Lawn. Forest Lawn is represented that they will comply with all applicable provisions for related party transactions before entering into a contract with Western New York. Strictly speaking, that's not before us because we're not approving there's no contract yet and we're not approving it in any event.
Yes.
The other thing I would add, and I just want to make sure I got this right, Corey, is when we say they don't have lot owner records from the 40s, I think what we meant is that they don't have lot owner or address records.
Yeah, contact information,
Right,
yes.
they know who the original lot owners of these graves were.
Yes.
Okay. Those
I was
3.
writing there before thing, but I've forgotten what it was.
Okay, we'll move on. Council, anything to add to this?
Nothing from council.
All right. Any
Oh,
questions?
subject to availability.
I
That was the
I
fourth thing.
got it.
Yeah, I'm just curious, are these exceptionally large monuments? The one that is like $3,300 per monument.
I mean, Corey, do you know? I don't know off the top of my head. think
Yes,
the
I
answer
did.
is- Yeah,
I did
go
not
ahead.
visit the cemetery personally, but I believe they had some larger monuments. I could verify if you wanted, but I didn't visit it myself. Cindy did.
Based on the pricing, I would say the answer, with that not having the photos in the packet, I would say the answer is probably yes, because Western New York consistently comes in on the lower end of the cost of doing this kind of work. So if it costs a lot more, that's almost certainly because either something about the terrain or more likely the size of the market, of the markers, makes it more expensive.
This is Mike Seelman. I'll add that Forest Hill Cemetery in Attica is a bit hilly. And the other thing is that the contractors all include the dimensions of the foundations. So I don't have it right in front of me, but I think for that large one that was mentioned, we could look at the dimensions of the foundation and see that it's a large monument.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions from the board? I'll make a motion to approve the application for Forest Hill Cemetery in the amount of $36,925.84, subject to the availability of funds. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Application approved. Second is Lakewood Cemetery in Otsego County. 44 monuments in the amount of $83,043.90.
Corey, that you again, or is this Mike?
It's Jessica, but I'll handle it.
Oh, okay.
Lakewood Cemetery is a small rural cemetery in the town of Middlefield, Otsego County. It's just north of Cooperstown. They submitted an application for the repair of 44 monuments. Jessica Rosario visited the cemetery and confirmed that all 44 monuments appeared to pose a hazard. The most recent monument is dated 1943, and the earliest of this group of monuments is 1813. The cemetery stated that they do not have lot owner contact records for the period before 1943. And so they ran a legal notice once a week for 3 weeks in the Daily Star, and they received no response. So it's our understanding that the cemetery has determined that the lot owners cannot be located. They submitted 2 repair estimates, one from Humphrey Memorials for $82,900 and one from Barrett Memorials for $83,555, both to reset 44 monuments on new concrete foundations. Both contractors provide a 10-year warranty. The lower of the 2 bids averages $1,884 per stone, and that is a little bit higher than the average that we see, and it's based on Lakewood Cemetery is kind of a terraced hillside over on the side of the lake, and there's very difficult access and narrow roads, and that it's reflected in the increased prices. The cemetery is up to date on their vandalism payments and annual reports, and we recommend approval in the amount of $83,043.90.
Anything else to add, Louis?
Nope, other than.
Have 2 action.
I said that for.
I heard it. Just reminded. Council, anything to add?
Nothing further.
I'll make a motion to approve the application of Lakewood Cemetery in Otsego County for dangerous monuments in the amount of $83,043.90, subject to the availability of funds. So a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion or application is approved. That is the bulk of our business. It's all of our business this month.
Again, this because we so close to the previous meeting.
So I said, yep. Okay, and our next meeting is not the second Tuesday, but the third Tuesday. I think that's partly because I'm away at 10, the normal time, 10:30 in this room. We also always open up the conversation to anyone who wanted to speak to the board about matters that we've discussed or other matters that might come before the board. Is there anybody online that would like to address the board?
Hi, yes, I would like to say something.
Yes, and you
My
identify
name is-
yourself, please?
Yeah, my name is Carrie Lynch. I'm the secretary and a trustee at Lakewood Cemetery, which you just approved funds for. So that's why I'm listening in. And I just want to say thank you to all of you. We really appreciate it. The funds make such a difference, the monument repairs. And I want to say thank you to Mike Seelman and Jessica Rosario, if she were on. I've met each of them just once, and they're both very helpful with any questions. And so I just wanted to say thank you.
Well, that is always nice to hear. We appreciate it. And we also want to thank you for your time, your service at the cemetery. That's, again, we couldn't do it without the cemeterians at the local level. So good, glad that we were helpful, and thank you for letting us know.
Okay,
Anybody
thank
else
you.
speak before the board?
Public comment from the room.
Public comment from the room?
Good afternoon. David Fleming from the Featherstone firm. I want to welcome council back. Nice to see you. And appreciate the efforts and look forward to working with you again. And I was asked to communicate a message. Unfortunately, the timing of this meeting not being in the morning conflicted with another meeting, but Richard Moylan, who has been the president at Greenwood for decades, is retiring at the end of the month. And he wanted me to extend his appreciation to the staff and to the cemetery board for all of the work and that we've been able to do together over the years that have really transformed Greenwood during his tenure. So on behalf of Mr. Moylan, thank you very much.
Thank you, and we wish him the best in his retirement. Job well done.
I was remiss in not making that part of the division report. If you give me 30 seconds, I would be happy to share with you a précis of what I said at his retirement thing. The short of it is that I'm going from memory here, but I believe the cemetery is somewhere between tripled and quadrupled in real terms, the value of its funds under his leadership, and obviously and opened itself up to the community as in addition to being a cemetery, a cultural institution. And obviously, more money is a good thing, and finding innovative ways to keep people engaged in the cemetery as space runs lower. They're not out of grades by any stretch of the imagination, but they're definitely running lower on inventory, in-ground inventory. Is like that's an important model. They're not the only ones doing it. Forest Lawn, your objection is duly noted. That you guys did it first, but obviously this is an important thing for other cemeteries in the state.
Well, and I just, if I could just follow up on that too. And from a personal level, thank you to the cemetery board and the division for embracing that image many years ago and have being supportive up until recently with this transformational project that they've worked on with the state and the city on their new welcome center, which is going to bring classroom space, and really bring that part of Brooklyn alive. And, we're really appreciative of that. And that is setting a trend now we're seeing in urban cemeteries in New York. We're looking to invest in similar projects that are going to help them as they go to this next level where interments are declining, they're running out of space. How do they connect socially and how do they connect with the community? So I think those are important projects. So thank you.
And Forest Lawn's vast collection of art that currently occupies the corridors in its administrative office was Greenwood, sorry, Forest Lawn. Greenwood's vast collection. Forest Lawn, to my knowledge, doesn't yet have a vast collection of art.
No, but they do.
Greenwood's vast collection of art of people connected to the cemetery, which now currently lines their offices, will soon have a proper home.
Again, we wish them the best. Thank them for their service and wish them the best. Any other comments or people wish to speak to the board? There being none, everybody gets a get out early card. I'll make a motion to adjourn the June Cemetery Board. Again, our next meeting is July 15th. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you all. Thank you, Joe.